1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, internet world. This is Norma Joe. I just got off the job. 2 videos one day. I'm eating some of this orange chicken from Lucky's, and it's pretty fucking good. I was gonna read some more of that story. Wait, 1 sec. It was a long walk back to the farmhouse. What is it with me and farmhouses, man? Socks tried to relax and enjoy it, but he was edgy. As hard as he tried, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was secretly being watched. Ooh, from somewhere. He tried not to look back over his shoulder or around. But when the tension got too high, he couldn't help the urge, which overflowed, and he peeked around defensively, always expecting, with bubbling fear, to see one of those creeping marauders who he feared so much. Who, not whom. Whom is dead. Faceless, chilling, defiling. Already just thinking about it. His innards felt compressed with dread. He hurried home faster. When he got there, he found Chip sitting on the porch step. At first, he thought the young man was just lost in daydreams, but then when he got close enough, he could see that Chip was trembling and pale. "Are you okay?" Socks asked. He tried to make it sound casual, but it was difficult not to let some worry show. There's like another thing on the other side of the page. Yeah, I'm fine, Chip answered, looking away. He was gripping his sleeves, but he loosened one hand to touch his hair. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't really been able to sleep. Why? Something on your mind? Socks couldn't help but to feel a little awkward asking. But he went ahead. Yeah, well, kinda. Chip swallowed his emotions the best he could. You ever feel like you're gonna die? Holy shit. That took Socks back. What? He rapidly tried to gather the best words in a hurry. What, Chip? No, I don't think you're gonna die, man. Why? Why would you? Again, the dread gripped him. This time for his friend, worrying he was sick or under serious trouble. I don't know. Chip urgently stuttered back. I don't know. I just don't feel alive. He was trying to downplay it, but Socks could hear the distinct tone of distress in his voice. A little lost for words, Socks went past him and into the front door. It was already open. Just the screen door was there. He stepped into the cool shade of the living room. Dee? Socks called for help. He didn't allow much time for answer before he called again. Dee? Julin? Oh, I guess Yulin is his name. Ceci? Subi? Anybody? He hurried from the living room to the kitchen, up the stairs, knocking on the bedroom doors, but there was nothing. The house seemed empty. Damn it, he thought to himself, damn it. They must have all gone to town for some reason. Now Socks was desperately trying to remember if he had seen their truck parked outside or not. Hurrying back down the steps, he resolved. I don't use that word very often. That's cool. Some words I use way too much, like slipped in and out of the door and shit like that. He resolved to take things into his own hands. He snatched the blanket roughly off the couch in his haste and went back outside, trying not to slam the screen door. It gave him a little relief to see Chip still sitting where he had left him. Well, where the fuck else is he gonna go? Rubbing his head, but no worse than before. Socks came over and draped the blanket over Chip's shoulders. Again, it gave him a little relief to see Chip accept it, pull it close around himself, and look up at Socks with his misty eyes. Remember when I told you this is, like, kind of similar to, this is basically, like, the updated version of King Farm? Yeah. Why don't you come inside or something, Socks said, trying to hide his nervousness. Maybe just some rest and water would put Chip right again. He hoped, at least. He didn't like to see his friend and housemate like this. Socks offered his hand, and with something to lean on, Chip stood himself up. They went back into the farmhouse. Chapter 3. It was a little after sunset. The sky had just become dark as the last rays of orange disappeared. Socks, Peanut Butter, and a couple others were in the farmhouse, setting the table for dinner. Zero was standing in the kitchen, stirring gently a simmering pot of stew. And JP, who was older and sturdier than the rest of them, was cutting slices of bread to lay out on a clean cloth for everybody. Subi, who was Dee's newest assistant, was separating paper towels off the roll and folding them for each place at the table. "Have any of you seen Chip?" Dee asked, looking around and not seeing him. Socks was about to respond about what happened that afternoon, the last time he had seen Chip, but he held back. His own shame over how he had reacted froze his tongue in place. The others could not know. "I'm sure he'll turn up sooner or later," Subi said casually. The issue over Chip seemed to be settled. Socks waited a few extra moments to be sure he wasn't changing the subject too soon. Luckily for him, no one else seized the moment, and he asked Dee, "Is it true that anyone is invited to dinner every night?" She glanced at him and shrugged. "Sure, of course they are. But if everyone came, we don't have enough places." She waved it off. Oh, that was him talking. Okay. "Sure, of course they are. But if everyone came, we don't have enough places." She waved it off. "I don't think there's a danger of that. Sure, there's a lot of people who could come, but most of them don't." "Why do you say that?" JP shot Socks a little dirty look at that point, but Socks ignored the indication that JP thought he was talking too much. "Well," Dee began, "okay, take the forest elves, for example. Why would they come here? Forest elves? They don't usually like being indoors, and they hunt their own food. Why would they need anything from me? The only reason really for someone to come here is if they're lost or don't have anything for themselves." Socks tried not to glance back at JP. The man was intimidating. Yeah, why is he sweating Socks like that? But he couldn't help the temptation to peek. One side glance told him the gist of all the horrible things JP was thinking about him. He didn't like the sight of that big knife either. Socks turned his back to the doorway. Yeah, he's like, "I'll just turn the other way." What if someone from Charlieville wanted to come to dinner? Dee gave Socks a glance that wasn't much better than JP's, and Socks almost lost his courage in talking to her. "I don't think those people would be interested in coming such a long way just to eat with us," she said coldly. I think that's it. Yeah, there's no more. There's a funny thing at the end that says, "I'm not pissed off because I'm hungry. I'm hungry because I'm pissed off." Alright, well, that was a little short episode. Cool, another notebook down. Isn't that one pretty? It's about to go in the recycling bin, because it has no more room in it, and I didn't like the stories in it that much. Not enough to keep it, but that's what I have this channel for, so, yeah.